Hello and welcome to Uncharted Territory. I'm your host Baron Marf, and I'm joined as always by the seafaring dog that is Angry Link. How you doing, buddy?
Somewhat lost.
Lost in the ether that is.
It's just been so many sort of quite random little bits and bobs popping up this week. We've seen some stuff from the Japanese fighting game scene with 2-second matches.
Yeah, what is
that's
that
the entirety
about?
of it. Well, there's this one specific arcade that's got this massive reputation as being a mecca for the fight scene. And yeah, they host special events and they take really obscure random like SNK games, because obviously early 90s Street Fighter clones are popping out of the wazoo. And yeah, they would just take some really interesting games and just completely mash up the rules. And there was one that 2 seconds, so the timer said 0-1, and you've literally I've got to go for the hit, or do I try and counter his hit? And that's the entire match.
That's amazing.
It's awesome. Yeah, it was quite an interesting read. It was good.
I like the idea of it, that sort of Bushido Blade-esque. It's all or nothing, but am I winning by defending? Am I gonna try my chance and he's gonna
Yeah, that's it. And you've got 2 seconds. There's none of this frame counting bullshit. It's just bam.
Whammy.
Yeah, you make one decision, win or lose. So there was that. And also, I'm quite worried for him because obviously it's under the Nintendo umbrella. So some guy's decided he's going to make a Street View for Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Oh man!
So of all the games, it's somewhat needed, I would say. But it being Nintendo and their history of cease and desists,
Break out the bang cannon.
Yeah, and sort of noting back to last September when they decided to issue 500 in one day.
Fastest draw in the West.
Yeah. So I'm quite worried for that. So it might not stay, but
see, that would be really useful when you're trying to hunt stuff down in the game.
It's one of those that. Why doesn't Nintendo in these sort of situations just go like Sega did with that Christian dude that's now making a Sonic game? He ported all of the other games to every known device you can imagine, and they went, "Did you want a job?"
Parfait done.
Yeah. As opposed to, no, we're going to take all that hard work for that love that you have for this fucking title and then just stamp it into the ground.
Cheapest coding team ever.
Yeah, exactly. Why not just say, okay, we take 60%?
We are now granting you permission, and therefore you're official.
Exactly. You can have your seal of quality.
Yeah.
And yeah, be done with it. Just help promote. Just say, okay, we'll look it over. We'll see if we can go run with this, and if we can, we'll contact you, or we'll give you a cut.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I would imagine that 99% of these people, if not 99.9% of these people, are doing it purely for the love. And if someone could go, do you know what? I'll give you a couple of quid for doing that for us. Do you mind if we release it?
We'll buy you a drink, and we use your content.
But you've got portfolio of work out there now. So you can say, yeah, I've developed for Nintendo.
Yeah, why not?
No, I single-handedly developed a Nintendo game. How good's that? That's amazing. But they could be interested in doing it, but no, they don't. They
lock them down.
They fire out the fucking. I don't know. I some get this image of like lawyer paratroopers, like this almost beachheads.
Yeah,
it's just like big Cadillac Escalades and stuff, and Cadillacs just rolling up, and
I see them more as like psychic hunters. Like, hey, are you thinking about Nintendo? No, are you sure?
It's one of those.
I am now. Get him.
It's almost like Superman when he gets that look where he hears something off into the far distance, and he's just gone.
Yeah,
and that's the lawyer.
That's exactly how I see them.
His wife will be cooking dinner, or they'll be sat down at dinner, and all of a sudden you'll be like, someone's making another Zelda game about official.
I also see them as kind of people who probably put animals down because they bark like they're saying the word Nintendo. And,
Well, at least, I wouldn't say put them down. They just have the clipped, the vocal cords.
Too much detail. Cool.
But so yeah, there was my little ramblings and little interesting bits. I hope you've got something with a bit more direction.
Well, as always in Uncharted, absolutely not. But
just an aim and an X on a map.
I've had an epiphany, Link. I've had a realization. I've realised that mobile gaming may actually be
a valid,
relevant.
Yeah,
it might actually be something to do. So, I've always considered myself as a hardcore gamer, specifically a console hardcore gamer.
Or one of the core gamers.
Yeah, sorry, the core gamers, that's right. So I'm not one of these like extremely good players.
No, I see the hardcore gamer as these are the people that are foaming at the mouth on a forum somewhere because someone merely suggested that the Xbox 360 pad's better than the PlayStation 3 pad.
Exactly. Bunch of weirdos, where we, on the other hand, are just recording it on a podcast and putting it in space.
No, we're just merely strange. I'd like to think eccentric, but I'm not rich enough.
Good. But, so I don't see us... Well, I mean, exactly the same, both of us. I don't really see us as sort of like absolute hardcore, like, I play COD until 3 in the morning.
I see you got to look at the B button earlier in the week.
Yeah.
That kind of explains it. What games have you played this week? None.
Nothing really. But I do think we are people who obviously are quite vested in the gaming industry, and so
we put in the hours.
Yeah, so we know what we think is the best gaming experiences, and you don't tend to find them on Nintendo products generally, and you don't tend to find them in mobile products. So Nintendo's always your second console. Well,
it has been for some years now, hasn't it? Really.
Yeah.
You'd always have either a PlayStation or an Xbox, and then you'd have your Nintendo, whether it be a GameCube or a Wii or something like that.
When you want to play big games like a Gears or Call of Duty or
I think it
whatever,
was the third-party stuff for me. It was always that you'd never get the best experience of Modern Warfare on a Wii.
No.
So you wouldn't buy it on a Wii, you'd be fucking mad to.
Exactly. But you're there for your Mario Karts and your Yoshis and your Super Marios.
There's enough
Zeldas
quality to draw you just for that.
Yeah.
Well, the Wii was really lacking.
Yes.
That was
yes, it
somewhat.
Was. But that's because these consoles got associated with sort of either the elderly or infants,
and shovelware.
Yeah, exactly. A hell of a lot of shovelware, and they did very well from it. But so if you wanted to play games seriously, there's a good chance you're going to be sat in a chair with a large headset on, holding a controller, staring at a screen.
Well, even going back to like taking to that mobile as well, you'd still have to have a specific device for that purpose. Like you say, whether it be a Game Gear, a Game Boy, a Lynx.
Yeah, exactly.
Over the years, there's been many pretenders to the Game Boy crown, but they still stand firm with it.
Mobile graphics have come away, haven't they? But they're not quite there. I mean, I akin to some of the mobile experiences historically have kind of been a bit like playing a PS1 game in a 360 PS3 sort of era. I think felt out of Canada really.
I mean, it has helped the speed in which it's gone. I mean, the fact that you've got the new Galaxy S8, you can run the GameCube emulator on that, the Dolphin emulator. Play GameCube games on it. Obviously, the feat itself isn't great in terms of it can run GameCube graphics. It's emulating a GameCube, which to emulate a console takes some serious grunt because you've got to run the fucking machine that it's running. And the GameCube as well. Yeah. So it's the fact that it's got it up and running on a fucking mobile phone.
Yeah, it's impressive stuff. So we're seeing a lot more horsepower, and that's coming through in many ways, isn't it?
The speed in which it's increasing as well. Because you're looking, it's like how long did it take for PC CPUs to get to 64-bit? And it's like the ARM are like, we're catching up, guys.
We're almost there. Yeah.
I mean, the fact that some PC manufacturers are actually using the same chipsets that go into mobile phones for laptops, or netbooks and Chromebooks and stuff like that. It shows you the gulf is somewhat
shrinking, very much so. Yeah, and this is what I've kind of been noticing because kind of organically I've found myself someone who, and rightly or wrongly, deems myself a bit more of a serious a game enthusiast. Yeah,
the same way that you can watch a film on your phone. It's exactly the same film, but some people don't. They like to go home and sit in front of their 70-inch TV with their fucking 9.2 full fucking speaker system and their projectors and all of that. And they actually, like you say, have invested the time into their hobby and their love. And like you say, you've always felt that, I have as well, especially. I've always played games on mobile phones, going back to the original Nokia Snake.
Yeah, of course.
But you've always felt that they were very much like pick up and play.
Second-hand experience, wasn't it? Yeah.
And everything was tacked on.
Yeah.
I mean, like you say, I suppose moving on to the games really now, we're we are seeing some big like releases.
Yeah.
And the fact that when we were talking about this earlier, wasn't it? We were saying that you've got, admittedly they're from previous generations, but you've still got top AAA console titles coming to the phone.
Yeah, so you got your Final Fantasies, you got your GTAs, Assassin's Creed stuff coming through.
Yeah. Even if you look at some of the stuff that like Gameloft are pushing out, like their Modern Warfare rip-offs. I mean, they're so top quality, well-made titles.
I was playing a really solid little sniper game, and yeah, just thoroughly impressed with it, and it looks good. It looks like, a video game.
I mean, I think you'd have to look at the mobile gaming scene. It's very similar to the indie scene, in the sense that you're not going to see the budgets that you would see in, say, a GTA 5 or a Red Dead Redemption. You're not going to see someone throw $200 million into a mobile game unless it's going to give them $200 billion back. But what you are seeing is, like with indie games, is they haven't got the budget to make all of these features, but they do take this one or two core mechanics and sort of try and really harness the fun from that. And I think that's what works well with mobile. I mean, we've seen it with the DS. Obviously, everyone scoffed at the second screen and the touch screen at first, but then sort of 6 months to a year later, once the first sort of range of Tactile experiences had gone through, we saw some really interesting games and some really novel ways to use the control scheme as developers got used to it.
Well, yeah, I mean, as these features get not just adopted but actually
integrated, assimilated,
built from the ground up into the game. When these, and a great example is when Nintendo do 3D themselves. It works very well because it's used simply but well. And the same with touchscreens and stuff like that. If it's thought about in the same way, that you'd use it simply, but give yourself a simple control system like left or right. When it's done like that, actually, you can play a game using it. So I think there's this progress in people's just understanding on what they should or shouldn't be doing in these environments.
Yeah. I suppose control schemes is an interesting one to talk about, because notoriously your more traditional kind of games, which were controller based obviously from consoles, or even on PC, you've still got your keyboard and mouse. A lot of those have struggled. I mean, there is some amazing, like Kemco have got this, I suppose a stable's too small a thing to describe. I suppose a hanger would be a better way to describe it, of just amazing RPGs, like old school classic 2D RPGs, but on a touchscreen they're unplayable because there's no tactile response from the buttons, and there's
your thumbs drift off in location.
Yeah, you end up being like, wait a minute, why is my thumb up in the top right? And yeah, so there's that thing. But now you've got this advent of controllers. Admittedly, the support for them,
mix match. I mean, so there's, as always, when we talk about the mobile market, unfortunately, it is kind of seen as you've got Apple, you've got Android, full stop. And I know we should be saying iOS and Android, but it really is Apple and Android, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And there's some environments where it's more difficult to standardize something, and strangely that is Apple's environment, because nobody's really put their foot down.
No. Which of the pair of them, it's the one that
implements the highest level of control, who's not
it'd be the easiest. It would be the easiest to do it, because like it's not like you've got 17 or fucking 700 different models of phone, is it? There's 5 that they're currently.
The issue is that because they haven't said this is the control system that will interface with your games, nobody's building it into the games. No. So you don't, you've got these hard developers going, we can make it work for that one and we can make it work for that, but what they can't do is just say it's the one which works for games.
It's not like there's some API built into Game Center that says here's how you set the control scheme. I mean, again, why isn't it built into, like, say, Google Play and the App Store, Game Center? Because surely, yes, again, me and you sat here saying, it can't be that hard to implement. I'm sure it is a lot more difficult than saying it can't be hard to implement.
What's the problem?
But not being horrible, Apple, you're one of the richest, like, cash money businesses in the world. Throw some of that at some people to work that out for you.
Anything that Apple commits to usually becomes canon, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, they don't. That's it. They spend a couple of years sort of like, is it worth it? Is it worth it?
Yeah, they stand
Let's
on the
go
line,
for it.
and then they take a bite.
And then they get Johnny Ive to just design it to make it look nice.
We've reinvented wireless pay, but funny enough, whammy, there we go, it's everywhere now. You know, we had NFC with Android beforehand. It was great, but it wasn't widely spread. Apple go, hey NatWest, let's get a deal in place, and it's everywhere.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
So it needs someone like that to say this is going to be the control system, because I sent you a link yesterday or the day before, basically saying
yeah, it's like yesterday.
have a look at the these wacky control systems which you plug into the end of your.
Wasn't it how you can get a Switch without actually having to get a Switch? Almost, yeah.
Yeah, and
yeah, because you had all like the clamshell iOS controllers and stuff like that.
Hug your phone with these two bookends,
Yeah.
and then you've got control.
Yeah, it kind of made it look like a Lynx.
And as always, there's the here's the specially adapted one with the stupid special adapter just for an iPhone, and here's one for everybody else. You know, it's
Yeah.
just like
Here's the one that just works with everything else.
here's the one for people who are being dicks about it, and then here's the one which everybody in the rest of the world uses. Yeah. So, but you know, that sparked some thought for me. Like, damn, you know, if we've got games which look good in this environment, like an Ocean Horn or whatever, and you've got a control system, actually, I can quite see myself pulling up in the car or, you know, arriving somewhere, stopping for 2 seconds, getting out those little end bits, going ka-ching, and just playing a video game.
Here you go. Unless you know you're going to go away for a long sort of weekend, or you're going to be away for a committed amount of time, do you take your 3DS with you?
I do take some sort of mobile.
But that's what I mean. You'll either have your smartphone with you, well, your smartphone will be with you.
Yeah.
But if you know, you say you're going to be going somewhere, let's say, for example, you've got to go shopping for something that you really don't want to have to buy, or basically you're being dragged around the shops.
Yeah.
You're not going to take your 3DS with you, are you? But you've got your phone, you'll quite happily sit there for 40 minutes while we go, what do you think of this? Yeah, it looks great.
If you could plug a
That
couple of
would
end caps onto the end of your phone and just whammy out some gaming there and then, like a Zelda-esque game like Ocean Horn, you'd do it, wouldn't you?
Fucking right.
Damn right.
Because I kind of have already. Obviously, you sent me that link.
Yeah.
I was looking through it, and obviously I was looking at, again, I don't need Bluetooth controllers. If anything, I've got a couple of spare controllers that I could probably wangle into a way with a bit of software to work on a PC or something. But I did see, though, a cheeky little controller. I've been looking for a new keyring, and it seems that 8-bit have made like a little Bluetooth controller that's the size of one of my keyrings that I'm going to replace.
Nice.
So I bought myself a Bluetooth keyring, a Bluetooth controller keyring.
Well, you're right in both instances, really. Yeah, amazing.
So yeah, I've got Game & Winner a solid control scheme.
That is a diddy little controller.
It's tiny. It's like, it makes the Joy-Cons look meaty.
But the crazy thing is, when you look at it, so you've got, say, a amount of space, which is a lot, you know, small enough to be on a keyring, but the D-pad takes up like 40% of that, and the buttons take up like another 40%. So you've got no real wasted space, you know.
No, it's purely just here's a D-pad,
usable
buttons, and it's a SNES controller. So there's a lot of buttons for the sides of the controller.
See, if I was buying that, I'd be like, this looks amazing. I bet it doesn't work on any games, or I bet I can't get it to be compatible, or I bet.
But it's one of those that
yours will just work.
Yeah. It just won't be compatible with anything. To be
battle.
fair though, like, I did hook up my PlayStation 4 controller, because obviously I've got the Sony phone, so it just does. There it is. Oh, it's a DualShock. Of course it is. And that every game that I went into, I mean, you couldn't set any of the buttons, and sometimes they're in a bit of a strange configuration. But yeah, every one I went into, it was fine.
Amazing.
So hopefully it all works out, because then I've got my little sort of case stand thing, so it's just sat on the bus. Out comes the controller.
Yeah, amazing.
Adventures of Mana. I can finally actually sit down and play it.
That's cool, man. That's super cool. So there it is, mobile gaming definitely the way. Do you know what I was going to say? For me, one thing that's just as a kind of not a closer, but a sort of a final thought.
Combination.
Yeah, combination for me is, and one of the things which really has tipped the scale about why I'm taking mobile gaming a lot more seriously. I watched a review on a game called Her Majesty's Spiffing, which is a point and click. based game.
Set released. I saw it on the Xbox store probably about 2 months ago, something like that.
Yeah, and it sounds interesting, but the crux of the review, they basically said nice little game, but it's only 2 hours worth of gameplay, so wait until you see it in a sale. So went to go look at Xbox to find out what the price of it was, and it was $15.99. I'm like, for a 2 hour experience, that's very pricey. I'm not down for that. I'll wait for a sale. And then I just happened to be moseying my way around the iOS store, and it was there. And I was like, oh, right, okay, so it's a point and click. I guess you could play it. I mean, I did Broken Age on the iPad.
It's perfect. It's one genre of game that is perfectly suited to tablets.
Yeah, exactly. So had a look at it. Bearing in mind it's £16 on, or $15.99 on the Xbox. $3.99.
Well, that's just silly. That really is. Is that just like, we don't mind giving Microsoft our money, but we don't want to give any to Apple. So if we put it as cheap as possible, they make as little as possible.
I'm like, why would I even possibly consider buying it on the console?
Yeah.
When it's obvious you're making so much money out of this.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I think that goes back to this whole thing that people don't take mobile gaming seriously.
Yeah, I get there's a price expectation.
Like, not being horrible, what's the difference between, say, let's buying a 3DS game? Like a game that lasts you 10 hours on 3DS, and then say Ocean Horn.
Exactly, or Mario Run, or all of these other sort of mobile experiences that we're actually getting. These are actually full games, but because no one's taking this genre seriously, they're saying that Mario Run can only be £9.
Yeah. Look at how much the fact that it's been downloaded less. Fire Emblem Heroes. It's been downloaded by less people, but it's fucking trounced Mario Run for money. It's absolutely smashed it in terms of how much it's made. Good old gacha mechanics, mate.
Yeah.
And it's that thing, and that's again that it's little things like that people like, they've been, we want proper mobile game experiences. Well, fucking pay for it then, you dumbass. Like, you do realise these things cost money to make. I don't want a game filled with in-app purchases. Well, then fucking pay for it.
Then buy it.
Yeah.
And I want to see a resurgence of buy once, you have a full game. I like that experience.
I mean, I can see like stuff like Grand Theft Auto, all of the old ones. Yeah, there's no way I'd be paying fucking 10, 15 quid for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, 3 or 4 quid for San Andreas. It's a fucking amazing game.
Yeah.
And if you've got a little Bluetooth controller, amazing.
Well, this is the thing. Some of those controllers we were looking at, these plug-on-the-end jobbies, listed GTA as playable, and it was like Vice City, and I was like, I'd mash through Vice City on my mobile.
Yeah, damn right. Because like you say, you've sat there. You're waiting for someone to pick someone up. They're running late. I'll just have a quick 20 minutes on GTA then.
Whammy.
Exactly. But I think that's also the thing as well that holds mobile gaming back. Obviously, I'm taking this final point
no,
to the very edge of fucking the earth here at the moment.
Uncharted Territory, baby.
It's because you sit down in front of your console to play games, whereas your phone is just something that plays games.
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to that Wii thing and how broad demographic of people enjoy games. I mean, hell, my father, who's in his bloody OAP days now, he plays games on his phone. So it's one of those. It's that use that bullshit casual experience excuse to not have the balls to put the flag in the ground and say, no, we're gonna do this. These are fucking serious platforms. These should be taken seriously, and we want some serious money.
We're not welcoming price increases, though.
No. Well, Brexit. We've already had to put up with one.
You can't. I'm fed up with people. You'd be like, "Hey, where's the icing off of my bun?" Well, Brexit. What? It's unbelievable. Right.
Well, I'm sorry to go into the political sphere, but obviously it's the French elections at the moment, isn't it?
Delve.
Do you reckon they're going to have a Frexit?
Oh, I'm not touching that.
Or Franksit?
I'm not touching that.
Because I know Italy tried to coin one and it just sounded really weird.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, there it is, folks. Look, here's my final thought on this. Accessibility, new controllers, as they're starting to work their way in a little bit now, I think we're starting to see the lines blur graphically, all those good things. So come on, mobile gaming, it might be valid. Who knows? Okay, so look, check us out on all the usual social media. It's all down below. Until then, Angry Link.
See you next week.
And I'm out.